Can you hear me? Okay. Oh, and maybe I just wasn't speaking into the mic. Sorry. My question was, anybody waiting for a guest or a family member? Are we ready to begin? We can wait a couple of minutes if there's a grandparent coming. Welcome, everybody. We've come here to celebrate the 2015 Larch Room 6th grade students who have worked very hard this year, and we will honor their achievements. They have some wonderful reflections to share with us. We'll be moving to that in just a moment. I'd like to start by taking a moment to honor all the faculty that have worked with these children this year. I think that you'll hear some of that in their reflections as well, but specifically Greg Lawrence and Martha Weber and Josh Pruitt and Katie Bear, who have all been a part of Upper Elementary. For all of you and those of you who are in aftercare, we can really think about Ann Vu, who's worked very hard to make sure Upper Elementary aftercare is a fun place to be as well. And of course, we have to honor Sue Pritzker, whose 30 years of service to Childpeace means that we have this big, wonderful program, and so I'll just say that. So thank you. I honor all of you. And next up, Sue Pritzker has a few remarks to share with you.
We didn't put the spots on. We've done that before, but these spotlights, the children are all sweating by the time they get up to give their speech if we turn the spotlights on, so we'll have to use a flashlight. So if you guys you need a flashlight, it's up here for when it's time. So I'd also like to acknowledge that over the last 2 years, we've started a tradition of community council, and many of these students in this group have been a part of that, where we have representatives from each of the elementary classes and the middle school, and they have met with me at lunch, and we've sort of mulled over things that we need to do in and around our school, changes that we can make, and it's been really exciting. Things like having brand new world books and having a tetherball on the playground, some of the important things. So, and many of these students have been great leaders in that tradition that we've started, so it's really exciting. And I also, with Dawn, I'd like to say special, goodbye to both Kristen and Marta. They have been extraordinary presences and help to everyone in our upper L, and we really wish both of them well as they head along at the same time as kids. So my message is for you is going to be a little short. I have a message that will be in your book. Some of you I've known for really a long time, since you were toddlers or at least 3 years old, and if I see you now, I just see you toddling or being a 3-year-old that I met at a Saturday morning, and it's just amazing to watch that you are actually the same people you were when you were 3, not only just in your face, but in your personalities. And I think the one exciting thing for all of us is that you'll leave here, even if you're going across the street, and it's seems like just across the street to Metro. In fact, there's all kinds of wonderful new adventures and lots of new students coming from different schools, and you've earned all the independence that you're going to have when you go there. And if you're going elsewhere, we know that you're leaving here with all the skills you need to be really successful, but we do hope you'll keep in touch. And for the first time this year, you're going to see a package about your alumni status in your books and how to keep in touch with us, and we hope you will. And I think that, you are going to remember Greg and Josh for your whole life. I have a 22-year-old, and the most important memory she has in her whole education is her time in Upper L, and that it gave her a passion for learning. And I just hope you keep that passion for learning that you've really been able to have, and you'll always look back at these relationships that you have with the adults here and how comfortable they are, and it's going to change your life in school because you're going to feel that you can talk to your teachers and that they can be your friends as well as the people that you need to help you along the way. So I just have a very quick quote from Maria Montessori. "This is the treasure we need today, helping the children become independent of us and helping them find their way by themselves, and then receiving from them in return their gifts of hope and light. So, good luck to all of you.
Josh, Marta, myself, we couldn't have reached this milestone without this incredible inspirational model. And having these 10 children as graduates this year makes us all very proud. They have earned our respect in earnest and beautiful ways, and they are approaching the world around them in earnest and beautiful ways. I would describe this group as devoted and loving. They have been devoted to each other, sometimes in very mature and empowering ways, and to our community, they have often been lovingly supportive. Many of them are driven to make positive changes in the world around them almost every day. Their enthusiasm to understand more about the immediate and broader worlds of which they are a part of has prepared them for whatever comes next. Our travails in Costa Rica were indicative of this. Since our return, I refer to this group of graduates as having laughed their way through that country. They made it easy. They made it easy on each other. They made it easy on our hosts. They made it easy on me. It makes me very proud to say that. This day seems to have been sprung upon us because they've been working really hard. The younger students returning to the Larch room next year show great admiration for this group, and above all, they're excited for them. These past few years were a time of Mara's leadership and Mara's poise at all of our class meetings, but at any big endeavor we undertook. Thank you, Mara, for your passion and for doing things right. She is a shining example of an independent learner that the Montessori environment can create. We have some big shoes to fill next year. Thank you, Katya, for your grace and poise and attention to detail, especially when expressing herself creatively. She has emerging talents in so many areas, but her modesty and graciousness sometimes hide them from view. Her love of animals and her passion to help inspires us all. Her diligence and care of our classroom will be gravely missed. We watched Odin's confidence as he created friendships and helped classmates in need. He's learned the valuable skill of being able to laugh at himself sometimes. Thank you, Odin, for your positive influence on all of us, sometimes without you even knowing it. His fellow classmates voted that he would be elected president if they were stranded on an island. We watched Sophia Schwartz demonstrate persistence and drive, especially when facing tasks others might shy away from. Thank you, Sophia, for leading by example. We'll always remember her strength and courage. She is, above all else, she is resourceful. Her creative solutions and intelligence enabled her to lead a service project that was truly independent. She gained a lot of confidence in this endeavor and will succeed wherever she is. Elliot's strength, his determination, it was evident every day. Students remember Elliot always being willing to help others. His energy overflows sometimes, and when used for good, he helps make everything easier. Thank you, Elliot, for sharing your charisma and your charm. This, combined with Elliot's creativity, make us all hope for the future. He's going to make the world a more beautiful place, sometimes unintentionally. Maya developed her ability to make perceptive observations and she became a leader. Thank you, Maya, for your unwavering grace and poise. They are impressive, and we have come to rely on them. It makes us all more attentive to our own presence of mind. At times, her generous spirit is unmatched, and her laughter is contagious. Thank you, Grace, for helping me create the scholarly atmosphere we all rely on. Your passion and insatiable appetite for scientific knowledge inspires all of us. Your curiosity and your extraordinary problem-solving skills put you on track to be innovating for the future. We can't wait to see what you'll accomplish at Metro. Holden, thank you for leading by example. You revealed your zany, fun-loving side at times, and we all loved it. Your wit is impressive, and you have a truly adventurous spirit. As an ambassador of geography this year, he demonstrated how much fun learning can be. he is also hardworking and diligent. Thank you, Isaac, for your entertaining and positive outlook on life. You are kind and creative at all times, and above all, you are sincere. Your charisma and sense of humor captivated younger students all year long, and they will miss having to look up to you, both literally and figuratively. I'll always remember Sophia MC's passion and her drive. Thank you for Sophia for being so fiercely independent and bold. Your independence and initiative were key to our leadership this year. You are also very efficient and ready for the endeavors Metro will afford you. This group of students has proven that they are moving on to the next stage of development. They have changed, fulfilled potential we saw in them at the beginning, and as emerging adolescents, they are all carving their own identities. They are discovering who they are. This is especially necessary in the social workings of our world. I want to remind you to not forget the lessons of grace and courtesy, and to be respectful of others at all times. These are some of the best lessons you've received, and the world will open doors for you if you remember them. We are all very proud to have worked with this group. Thank you.
Now we get to hear from the students. So first up, Isaac Coleman.
Hi, my name is... Okay, there. Hi, my name is Isaac Comer. My Montessori experience started when I was just 1 year old, but my education at Childpeace began 2 years later when I learned I would be placed with Michelle and Susan in the spruce room. On my first day, I was super scared and didn't want to walk into the class, but after I became friends with Elliot and Zachary, I was very excited for school. My favorite work at the time was finger painting. I remember painting the most beautiful splotches of blue and green paint and calling it my masterpiece. My next year, I was still not old enough to do actual work, so Elliot, Zachary, and I would take advantage of that by competing every morning to see who could tie and polish each other's shoes the fastest. So it wasn't until kindergarten when I learned the basics. Kindergarten was a big year for me. I stopped taking naps, and I was finally old enough to make bread. But more importantly, I learned the basics of grace and courtesy, like how to greet someone, how to patiently wait for someone, how to listen, and how to be respectful. My favorite part about graduating was we got to take a small rock to remember the class. Mine was a tiger's eye rock, which was gray, orange, and black. The only bittersweet part about graduating was I found out Zachary would be moving to Lake Oswego and not be attending Childpeace. But on the bright side, Elliot would be joining me in the myrtle room. So to conclude primary, I would like to thank my teachers for teaching me at my own pace and guiding me towards hard work and focus. Going into first grade, I wasn't scared at all until I learned my first life lesson of Laura. No secrets at school. I thought one of the animals looked like a melon, so I decided to whisper that to Isaac Childpeace, only to embarrass myself by having to share that with the whole group. In first grade, the myrtle room went to Camp Magruder, which is on the beach. My favorite memory from camp was dissecting a squid, but I still remember their throwing their slimy little carcasses back into the ocean. Second grade was a very fun year, but it was also a year where I learned how to get out of my comfort zone. The first days of second grade were pretty hard because we actually experienced really challenging work for the first time, like how to properly research. My first detailed research was on Marco Polo, but when we finished it, I cried when I couldn't take the project home. Third grade was when we were first recognized as role models and leaders to the other kids. I learned valuable lessons on how to show a group of younger students to not only act courteous, but work with focus and determination. My favorite work that year was area of a rectangle, which brings me to one of my favorite memories. Ty, Hayden, Ellie, and I would work on this all day, making huge projects like the Titanic, the Parthenon, and the alternative version of the Titanic in a trapezoid because we weren't allowed to use squares anymore. My 3 years in L'Oreal were very fun, and I especially like how well it prepared me for Upper. So I would like to thank Kevin for all the help he provided, and all the fun Friday musical mornings, and Claire for helping me be a smarter, kinder, and all-rounded better person in the time I had. My first big memory from 4th grade was our annual trip to Eagleford. The whole point of this camp was to make everyone have fun and get to know each other to feel more comfortable through the year. At the end of the year, it is a tradition that the upper L performs a play to the lower L. After we have led them through field day. That year the play was Peter Pan. I got cast as Jalapeno, the pirate chef, and I had a lot of fun memorizing my lines with Jake Krieger. At the end of 4th grade, I came into the summer knowing a lot more and feeling a lot better and excited for next year. 5th grade was one of the most fun years in Upper L, partly because we got a new teacher named Marta Weber, so Stephanie could focus on the Hawthorne room. The only downside was we had 117 word problems filled with cool facts and world records, and it was a long time. This year was supposed to be our year to shine in the play, but this year, rather than a fairy tale, we were doing a history of the world abridged. I was cast as King Gilgamesh of the Sumerians. Going into the last year, I was confident in math, so that was a breeze, but I've always been challenged at writing. However, this community lets you learn at your own pace, and in a fun way, I can now say that writing is not an area I'm anxious about any longer. This year, for my service project, I chose to do Oregon Grade School. The point of it is to make the environment a more eco-friendly place. And with all the projects I did, like Waste-Free Wednesday or making sure all the lights are turned off, I think our school is now a better place, and I hope a 5th grader right now will take this on. Costa Rica was one of my best experiences. I would tell you all about it, but that would take all day. So I'm going to share my favorite day, our visit to Locarpio. Locarpio is a small and very poor town in Costa Rica. The reason we go there is to teach a little Montessori school run by Gail and her humanitarian foundation. While we were there, she also gave us a history lesson on poverty all throughout Central America. 6th grade was one of the most exciting years of my life, and it wouldn't be possible without all the wonderful people in this environment. I would like to thank my parents for giving me the opportunity to learn here, Josh for all the cool art and science projects he helped me with, Marta for teaching me all the grammar lessons when I lost the ability to use commas, and last but not least, I'd like to thank Greg for always being there when we needed him. Thank you.
My name is Maya Mill, and I am a 6th grade graduating from the Larch. I've been at Childpeace since I was 16 months old. It has taught me lots of amazing life lessons, including how to be responsible, independent, respectful, thoughtful, and many more. My favorite thing about Childpeace is the freedom to work on what I'm interested in with who I want at my own pace. It has also taught me how to deal with real-life situations like making phone calls and spending money. My Childpeace experience began in Talbot community. I would like to thank my wonderful teachers, Jennifer and Arlen. They taught and helped me so much. I remember I used to always wear band-aids on my forehead and play the harmonica. Whenever I pass the Talbot community, it brings back many memories that I will never forget. I then moved on into Children's House. I was with Wendy in the maple room. Wendy was so kind and made me laugh. I made my first friend Helena when I accidentally sprayed water on her in the bathroom. She then called me a pizza girl because she didn't know my real name. Hallie also told me she was a water bender, and I believed her for a whole year. I remember that I hated nap time, but who doesn't? I did enjoy painting, cleaning shoes, making snacks, washing my hands, and reading the Titanic. I remember how nervous and excited I was on the first day of Lower L. I was too scared to ask where the bathroom was, though. My hosts were Emma and Dylan, and my teacher that year was Samantha. One day at recess, I saw a girl wearing the same dress as me. I thought she stole it, and Paloma and I still argued about who bought it first. The next year, a new teacher came into my class. Her name was Amy, and I loved her. She was very caring, thoughtful, understanding, and taught me so much. I wouldn't be what I am without her. Over those 3 years, my favorite works included racks and tubes, large bead frame, and knitting. I remember being very nervous on my first day of Upper L. When I walked into the class, my hosts, Grace and Ava, greeted me at the door. It's crazy to think about how far I've come since that day. My first research in Larch was on volcanoes with Emma and Zoe. Looking back on the research, I can see how much my writing skills have improved. The next year went by extremely fast. I made new friends and learned new things. That year for the winter celebration, we studied ancient civilizations. Of course, I chose the Mayans. This helped me work in groups with different people, and helped my presentation skills. This year has gone by so fast. I really enjoyed being a leader in my class. Coach League was also a great experience that I will never forget. I learned so much Spanish and really connected with the other sixth graders. One activity that really changed my outlook on life was when we went to the Montessori school in Carpio. At the school, we taught lessons in Spanish. A woman named Gail gave a speech on the history of poverty. It was very moving and made me incredibly grateful for the fundamental needs, especially education, that I have. My favorite part was when we went to the La Paz waterfall garden, and I got to try rice pudding for the first time. It was amazing. There were also really cool plants and animals, but the rice pudding was really good. For my service project, I had the honor of working with Project Lemonade. They're an organization that helps foster kids get access to clothes, and their goal is to inspire success and build self-esteem. To help, I got to sort clothes, and in April I held a successful clothing drive. I'm so thankful that I had the opportunity to help, and this project definitely made me feel very thankful for what I have. My entire service project would not have been successful without my mentor, Kirsten Brady, so I would like to thank her for taking the time to help me. My teachers in Upper L were Greg and Josh until March came in 5th grade. Josh has helped me when I'm having trouble with art or building projects. Thank you for making learning more fun and exciting. He has also been more creative and all my research is more exciting. Greg has helped me with everything. Whether I need help with math or science, he knows books I can use. His lessons are short yet educational, and he has taught me so much in my 3 years of Upper L. He celebrates with me when I finish work that I'm proud of, and he encourages me to learn more. My favorite thing about the way he teaches is that he doesn't tell me everything. He leaves some information out so that I want to learn more. Although I've only been with Marcia for 2 out of my 3 Upper L years, she has helped me so much. She's a great teacher and can help me with everything. She's going to make an amazing teacher at her new school. I would like to thank Kati for teaching me so much Spanish and taking the time to make all the materials for her lessons and follow-up. Without her, I wouldn't be nearly as good at Spanish. I wouldn't be anywhere close to where I am without my friends and family, especially my parents, Adam, Stephanie, Adam, and Tia. By the way, my stepdad and dad are both named Adam, and I didn't accidentally put the names in twice. The same name twice. They support me through everything that I do. They somehow find a way to make the hardest things seem easier. I'm excited to start a new chapter of my life, but I will definitely miss all the people and memories at Childpeace. Thank you.
Hello, my name is Kati, and today I'm graduating from the Larch. Ever since I can remember, I've been a student at Childpeace. The education that Childpeace has given me is priceless, and I will never forget the lessons that the teachers have given me. The Montessori experience has taught me how to be hardworking and persistent. I also learned to be a responsible and honest human being. Working in an environment with younger and older students, I learned to be a role model. Childpeace has made me eager to learn more, and I really appreciate the time the teachers took to help me become the person I am today. I began my Childpeace journey 11 years ago in the toddler community, and during those 2,000 days, I've collected so many memories. Passing by Jennifer's class brings back many memories, such as making guacamole with Tron or shiny shoes. I'd like to thank my teachers, Jennifer and Tron, for making my first years at Childpeace so comfortable. After moving out into Children's House, I created more memories. One of the earliest memories involves washing the leaves of the classroom plants. I remember how proud I was when I mastered the skill of folding napkins. I remember I loved washing tables and then showing them off to everyone once I had cleaned them. And the Children's House has spent many hours mixing the paint and creating multiple artworks. One of them was a painting of a ballerina that my teacher Teresa especially loved. During my 3 years of Lower L, I made many new friendships. I became friends with Kiara and we would spend our days together doing research. I continued to paint, and part of my research on Leonardo da Vinci inspired me to paint the Mona Lisa. One of my favorite memories of Lower L were camps. One of my favorites is Camp Magruder, where I dissected a squid and learned about the ocean ecosystem. I'd like to thank Claire and Kelly for not only being wonderful teachers, but for also giving me fun lessons and showing me how to make my work informational and beautiful. Moving up into the Larch was a challenge for me, but it was very but I was very excited to have Greg as a teacher, and I quickly adapted to the new environment. Again, I made new friends and spent a lot of time working with Mary. We would always write stories together, and our brainstorm was based off of Sherlock Holmes. In our 4th grade play, I got to play a princess named Turkey. I remember that I liked the play because I got to express myself, which I had not done before because I was so shy. Greg used to work with me almost every Friday on how to speak louder and present well. One of my greatest accomplishments was speaking in front of a large group, and just look at me now. 5th grade was very exciting and fun. I worked on many word problems that used the math that we had learned the year before. I remember that Mom and I would always compare to see who had done the most word problems. And since honesty is part of the speech, I thought the value that I finished first. This year has been challenging and also really fun. Over the past year, I've become great friends with all my classmates and worked on many interesting research topics. One of my favorite topics that I worked on this year was my research on the International Space Station. When I presented my work, I brought food that was actually eaten in space. Everyone loved the food, and the presentation was a blast. My 6th grade service project was the paw team. This organization provides veterinary care to the animals that are owned by the homeless population of Portland. My job was to help clients with paperwork and guide them to their vet offices. It was a really rewarding experience because I got to ask the clients about their lives. Every time I come back from my service project, I remember how lucky I am to have a good education and a home. Our Costa Rica trip was a wonderful experience. I made better friendship with students in the Hoffman room and learned to be more independent. My favorite part was definitely the car field where we got to teach students some Montessori lessons. I just love to see people happy, so it felt really good to teach and draw to children that are less fortunate than us. I'd like to thank Katie for helping me prepare for this trip and for being a fantastic teacher. I would like to thank Greg for all the wonderful lessons and for helping me get confidence in the subjects that were more challenging to me. I'd like to thank Martha for teaching me so many interesting lessons and making sure that I understand them. And I'd like to thank Josh for all the cool art projects and for helping me do science experiments. I'd like to thank all the teachers for always being there for me and for teaching me so many valuable lessons. I'd like to thank my friends for making my days at school so fun. And lastly, I'd like to thank my parents, Isabella and Chris, for bringing me to Childpeace and always believing in me. Thank you.
Hello, my name is and I've been a student at Childpeace for 9 years. My Montessori experience began in the Pine. When I began in Children's House, I was very nervous, but started to enjoy it when I became friends with Ty and Isaac. Ty and I would use the trinomial cubes to make boats all morning. My other favorite works in Children's House were the color tablets and walking on the black line. In kindergarten, I thought I was really cool because I learned how to use the addition bead frame. Although it wasn't as fun to do as the trinomial cubes, Ty and I would do it all morning to impress the other kids. Eventually, we started to actually enjoy the bead frame and would keep asking for more math lessons. When I learned that there would be more math lessons in Laura, I was really excited. That year, I also learned how to tie my shoes, mostly because my teacher told me I couldn't graduate with knowing how to tie my shoes. And I thought the rocks that you got when you graduated were really cool. I also learned things like kindness, grace, and courtesy. It taught me to be calm and helpful. Without my Children's House experience, I'd be a different person today. I would like to thank my teachers Meredith, Tina, Andy, and Kathy for really persuading me to focus and like the work I was doing. When I visited Laurel, I was so excited to see my old friends and all the new materials. I was also very excited to see the new, bigger bead frames. I thought it was really awesome to be with a new teacher named Rob, who was super nice. I immediately asked him for a lesson on the bead frame, but got less excited about it when I saw the older kids using the racks and tubes. During the next 2 years, I worked a lot more in other subjects, like zoology and biology as well. In 3rd grade, I started to learn fractions, and I started to have more history lessons, like the timeline of life and the timeline of humans. I also got the lesson on the black strip. One of my favorite projects of the whole year was my ancient China report, where I made a huge model of a pagoda. At the end of the year, I chose sugar for my graduation report. That's right, not the history of chemistry or the Greek gods as some of my classmates chose, but sugar. That's what I love about Montessori so much. I was in charge. I actually learned a lot about sugar, and I got into the science and history of it. I would like to thank my teachers Rob, Millie, and Zora for helping me do huge projects and teaching me to work with new people. When I visited Upper, I saw people doing science experiments and projects like paintings and models for reports. I became extremely excited for all the cool things I'd be able to do the next year. The only person I really knew in my new class was Odin, but I immediately became friends with Isaac and Elliot. I remember beginning the year with the universe story and all the huge reports. Greg taught us that the universe story was the story of everything. Kai and I did a report on the International Space Station, which we made a model of. Another big project I did that year was making an electromagnet with Odin to try and make a more powerful one than the one that Isaac and Elliot made. I remember so much about my education because it was self-directed. I also remember going to Eagle Ford for the first time. I loved playing frisbee, soccer, and basketball, but my absolute favorite thing was the rope sports. It was fun practicing our teamwork, and it was even more fun trying to stay on the swinging logs. It remains one of my all-time favorite games. In 5th grade, word problems were my favorite work. That year, I learned Fibonacci numbers, area and circumference of a circle, Zapotec Indians, and economic geography. When I began in 6th grade, I was extremely excited for state standards, but I was also a little bit nervous for all the work. Throughout the year, I've become a lot better and more interested in subjects that I didn't like or wasn't good at in the beginning of the year. This year, my service project was Special Olympics Oregon. I helped at the Fall State Games where I was an escort to the swimmers. It was really cool to meet the athletes who were super nice and extremely excited to be there. I remember walking with a boy who had gotten 5th place, but was still super happy and getting high fives from all of the volunteers and all of the other athletes. It was an awesome experience. I'd like to thank my mentor, Anne, for helping me find opportunities to volunteer, and my mom for driving me to my service project. This year, my classmates and I got to go to Costa Rica for a week to see their culture, plants, animals, and history. It was really cool because we were able to go to museums, go ziplining, volunteer at a school. A large part of the trip was getting to know each other more. During the trip, I got to know almost everyone better, especially the Hawthorne and 6th graders that I'll be at Metro with. Throughout my Childpeace experience, I've been taught by many amazing people. I would like to thank Greg for always being super helpful and giving me any lesson that I want. I want to thank Josh for always being able to help me make awesome, huge projects. And I'd like to thank Marta for always giving me super fun language lessons. I want to thank Sue because Childpeace would not be where it is now without her. And last but not least, I want to thank my parents for being extremely supportive of me. Thank you.
My name is Sophia Schwartz, and I'm graduating from Larch. In the past 5 years at Childpeace, I've learned many things, including honesty, integrity, persistence, and other important life lessons. I'm proud of this experience being in the classroom with mixed ages, which has taught me about good role models. Having the freedom to work on what I want, with whoever I want, is something that a lot of people don't get to do, and I feel very lucky that I've gotten to have this experience. When I first came to Childpeace in 2nd grade in the middle room, I hadn't been introduced to the concept of the Montessori method. The first moments of the year, we were walking in, just taking the classroom in. I remember how everything had been a certain way, something I now understand was building up good life habits. I'd like to thank Claire, my teacher at the time, for teaching me a lot of important things, even though just like how to talk like that. By the time 3rd grade rolled around, I felt more confident. By then, I had a couple of friends like Kati and Kiara. Like these seemed to fly by pretty fast, and before I knew it was almost the end of the year. Remember, Claire told us the tape came from dinosaurs, because apparently the classroom was wasting too much tape, and I actually believed her. When I found out I was in Grace's class, I was really excited, and I couldn't wait for the school year to begin. When I first walked in, everything seemed so big compared to lower L. Shelves towered over me, and I was scared of some of the 6th graders. I found out, though, they were really nice and helpful. My first uphill camp was going to Eagle Ford. I remember walking out of the bus and just thinking how cool it was being a Larcher. There's so many memories that I can think of this place, like Josh's big fires or Alaskan baseball, but probably the most memorable were the brown bag skits. Every year, each guy would pick a brown paper bag filled with several props and a slip of paper with some sort of saying on it. The cabin had to act at the same big campfire, and then everyone would guess what was on the paper. So fun, give everyone a chance to open and express their creativity. The main theme in 5th grade was word problems, another kind of life lesson. This combined math we were doing in 4th grade with real life situations. Remember David and I racing to see who finished first, and I lost because I had a lesson and he kept working. I was Pythagoras for the school play that year. Remember I had a dance, and at the end, I'd get lifted up by Alexandria McKenna. Only thing I had to do was take off my shoes, which of course I forgot to make before me. So while I moved to the back row dancing, I kicked off my shoes, aiming for the back of the curtain. Next turned out I hit Hayden in the process. Walking in class was 6th grade this year, I knew so many things would come. Besides the responsibility of being the oldest, we also had to juggle state standards, as well as a service project. My struggles for state standards were mostly math and social science. I'd like to thank Scott, my SAT tutor, for teaching me and helping me understand a lot of math that came to SAT prep. For my service project, I chose the Children's Book Bank, a non-profit organization that takes in second-hand books, cleans and fixes them, and donates them to children in need, through things like Head Start programs. I chose my service project because it makes me sad that only 1 out of 300 kids that are brought up from poor families have a book. During this year, I've come about once a month with a group of students to help make the books look new. I also did a book drive for a week, which turned out to be a success. I feel good that I've given back to the community, and I hope to go to the book bank this summer as well. I'd like to thank Grace, my mentor, for helping me plan all of this out and really teaching me what the Children's Book Bank is all about. I'd also like to thank my mom for helping me find this opportunity in the first place and for drumming the book bank once a month. But you know, my service project would never have been possible. Another thing the 6th grade get to do is take a trip to Costa Rica, which was so amazing and truly an experience to remember. I'd like to thank Katie for giving me Spanish lessons over the years that really helped me prepare for it. My memories of this trip include the Costa Rican market with all some foods to try, ziplining down over a mini valley, seeing all the different animals and the crocodile tour, having time to be 2 feet away at the waterfall gardens. Something that's the most memorable though was visiting the children at the school. The experience for me to see what so much of the world is like, and I feel lucky for everything I have. This year's taught me a lot about responsibility and persistence, as well as a lot of things that are really going to help me later on. I'd like to thank Greg for helping me the past 3 years and teaching me so much. I'd also like to thank my parents for giving me the opportunity to go to this school and for supporting me with everything, especially this year with state standards. My whole Childpeace experience has taught me about self-discipline, persistence, role models, manners, and a lot of other things that's similar to being a mature, responsible adult in later life. Moving on for 7th grade, I feel prepared and ready to take on the new challenge. Thank you.
And I've been in Childpeace for 8 years. Childpeace has been a great experience for me, and I have learned so much from my first grace and courtesy lessons to writing this speech. Montessori has taught me to be a critical thinker, hardworking, and has given me lots of freedom to work on things whenever I choose and with whomever I choose. That is, if I'm actually getting the work done. Being in classes with different grades has been a great opportunity for me. I can learn from older students and become a good leader by helping younger students along the way. I started Childpeace in Children's House when I was 4 years old. I was in the lower room with Teresa as my teacher. I would like to thank Teresa for teaching me everything like washing tables and sandpaper letters. One of my memories was painting with Katya all the time. One day we forgot to clean up our paint. Teresa said we can't paint anymore, and I was really sad, so I had to talk to her. But then I was able to paint again. Another memory was when there was a fish tank separating the willow and maple room. I would stare at Maya through it, and she would stare at me sometimes. We became best friends in first grade. When I entered the lower elementary, I was in the juniper room with Samantha as my teacher. I would like to thank Samantha for teaching me to spend more time making work beautiful and to not do 2-sentence reports on giraffes. Going into 2nd grade, Samantha moved to a different country and Amy became my teacher. Amy was very compassionate, thoughtful, and caring, and I would like to thank her for teaching me so much and preparing me for upper L. Some things I remember from lower elementary was going to camp. My first year I was really nervous to go, but I had a really fun time. At Opal Creek in my 3rd year, we had to take a hike. We had to hike in 3 miles, and during that time, Ella and Maya, Ruby, and I would make up our own dream houses and cool roller coasters. Opal Creek was one of my favorite times of lower elementary. I also remember being very proud of myself when I finished my report on Leonardo da Vinci in 3rd grade and finishing my 3rd grade speech. When I transitioned to upper elementary, I realized that there is more challenging work and more freedom, but with it, a lot of responsibilities. When I entered the Larch in my 4th grade, I was excited but really nervous. I felt like the classroom is so much bigger than lower elementary, and looking at the class today, it's like one big memory. My host is Devin, and she made me feel comfortable and helped me in the first couple of weeks. She taught me how to prepare for my conference and told me to not be afraid of upper elementary because it's actually really fun, and that turned out to be true. I became really good friends with Sophia and Steve, who had just come to the school that year. My teachers were Greg and Josh. I'm very thankful that Greg has helped me improve skills, especially in math and science, and has encouraged me to learn more after each lesson. I learned from Greg to always try my hardest, which is a very important life lesson. I would like to thank Josh for making the classroom fun by letting us do crafts like felting, working with leather, woodworking, and making instruments. I remember starring in Peter Pan in 4th grade as Long John's and Taco Bell. Another memorable event that year was when we went to Camp Hancock. We had to go on 5-hour hikes, and it was really hot. I remember pouring water from my water bottle onto lava rocks and taking it to my face. I probably should have kept that water to drink, but I thought it was worth it at the time. Every year, sometime in the first couple of months, we go to Camp Eagleford for one night, which is a time to bond with all the new 4th graders coming to the upper elm. A memory from Eagleford is playing the annual name game, Alaskan baseball. You make a circle and the person in the middle kicks the ball as far as they can and goes around the circle saying everybody's names. Playing Alaskan baseball symbolizes how well you know everyone, rather than how athletic you are. In my 2nd year of upper elementary, Marta became a teacher in my class. Thank you, Marta, for giving me many lessons and making sure that I understood what you were talking about. I remember doing word problems a lot in 5th grade. They taught me how to apply the math we learned in the past to real-life situations. We also learned strategies to help us. I definitely learned to do your follow-up after a lesson, otherwise we'll forget it. I made that mistake a couple of times. My 6th grade experience has been amazing, but it's gone by so fast. We have so much more freedom and even more responsibilities. We have state standards to do and we get to have service projects. By making a clear plan, I accomplished my goal of finishing state standards. My service project was CHAP, the Children's Healing Art Project. They do art with children in crisis who may be in the hospital. CHAP calls it the healing power of art. While volunteering, I prepared the crafts to bring to the hospital for the children. I would like to thank Grace and Faye, my mentors, for helping me set up volunteer dates and keeping in touch with me. I held a very successful art supply drive in the beginning of May. The most memorable experience in all my time at Childpeace was going to Costa Rica. One of my favorite parts of the trip was going to the school in La Carpio and teaching lessons and songs and playing games with the kids there. At the school, there was a woman named Gail who taught us the history of poverty. Learning about poverty made me think about how lucky I am to have so much. I would like to thank Katie for preparing us to be able to understand and speak some Spanish in Costa Rica. Through my upper elementary experience, I've learned to have self-discipline and integrity, as well as how to be more responsible as I get older. I definitely would not be the person I am today without all my teachers, family, and friends. Greg, Marta, and Josh have helped me gain the strength to be a good leader and a hard worker. I feel prepared to take on challenges in 7th grade at my new school. I'd like to thank my mom and my dad for making this experience possible and for always supporting me. Thank you.
Hi, my name is Sophia Mariel, and I will be graduating from 3 years at Childpeace in Larch. I remember transferring from Cascadia Montessori in Vancouver with Ainsley and Katrina. I was born in Minnesota and went to preschool at Brandon Montessori School. Then for kindergarten, I was at Vancouver Montessori School right next to Cascadia. Since I have been in Montessori my whole life, I have learned many things from how to tie my shoes to how to write the speech I am giving today. Childpeace has taught me how lucky I am to be in Montessori. I have learned to be a leader, hard worker, and I have made great friendships that will hopefully last forever. When I first started in the lunchroom, I was so scared. I remember holding on to my mom for dear life until Josh came and helped me inside. We played games and learned everybody's name. Josh was the scariest man I'd ever seen, considering that he was 6 times my size, but he made me feel very comfortable and I gained composure. I already knew 4 people from my tours and visits to the class: Juliana, Eleanor, Alessandra, and one of my best friends, Maya, who I met at a summer camp with Amy in the Junior Room. Every year, the whole upper row would go to an overnight camp, Camp Eaglefront. We would go every October, so it would always be rainy and super cold. There was a ropes course, and we had the chance to go to the rec room to play fun games. In my cabin, I became friends with Phoebe, which was the point of camp, to make new friends. A memory from 4th grade was when my friends Mara and Devin wrote a story with me about the Oregon Ducks coach leaving the team. It was called Chip Don't Go, and it was about a lot of famous candy and a plane crash. It doesn't make much sense now, but I guarantee that it was super cool back then. For camp, we went to Hancock, where it was really hot and got to go on 5-hour hikes. I spent my birthday there, and we all enjoyed chocolate cake. 5th grade was my favorite year because that was the year I really got the hang of things. I was better at getting to lessons on time, and I actually remembered to do my follow-up. One of my favorite things in 5th grade is word problems. We had 117 cards that we had to complete, and they combined math with real-life facts. That year, we went to OPI for camp, where we had the chance to go swimming in the lake. There were a lot of stories about a sea monster named Cressy, and when we went canoeing, even though I knew it was fake, I would always look down to see if a giant man-eating snake was coming up to destroy us all. Every year, we did a winter celebration. That year, my contribution was a fun skit on the Incan daily routine. I remember being a wife to my friend last year, Jane. We had a llama, who was my best friend last year, Estella. We made a parody of the song Royals with a lot of help from Josh. We also learned that popcorn was discovered by the Indians. 6th grade was definitely the most meaningful year for me, with state standards, Costa Rica, and service projects. My service project was SHARE, which is an organization that helps the hungry and homeless. I packed bags of food for kids and their families for over the weekend. Seeing the bags go out to schools with only a small amount of food really made me realize how many children are hungry and need help. After the school year, I would really like to keep volunteering at SHARE. I would like to thank my mentors, Dalian and Catherine, who helped me organize my food drive during the talent show. And I would also like to thank my parents for driving me there. Costa Rica was the best part of 6th grade for me. It was really fun to go ziplining in the cloud forest, teaching primary lessons, and trying great food. When we went to a park field where we volunteered with children, we met a woman named Gail, and she taught us about the history of poverty. It made me really sad, but I'm glad I learned these things so I can help stop it. Another thing I enjoyed in Costa Rica was our daily Spanish lessons at CPI. I learned more Spanish, mainly more verbs, fruits, and parts of the body. We also played a lot of games, which was my favorite part, but some of them were a little too competitive for Odin. Thanking people is going to be hard because there are so many people to thank and for so many reasons. I would like to thank all my teachers, including Martha, for giving great lessons and helping so much at the play. Greg for helping me with everything, and Josh just for being Josh. Patsy for preparing us to go to Costa Rica, and now Miss Darcy very much. Dan and Brian are always helpful. But most of all, I would like to thank my parents for always being there for me and helping me get through each year, as well as believing in me. Going through Childpeace has taught me so much, and I'm looking forward to the life experience in front of me. Thank you.
Hi everyone, my name is Grace Biles, and I'm proud to be a graduating 6th grader in Larch. I've been at Childpeace Montessori for 6 years, and to me, Montessori has always been a school of freedom and responsibilities, creating a balance that is one to be admired. An example of one of the biggest freedoms and responsibilities is the freedom to choose what to work on with the responsibility of achieving your daily diversity. My story starts with learning that freedom and responsibility on my first day of 1st grade. My first teacher's name was Samantha, and when I met her, I told her about my prior French immersion school and how I could fluently speak French. Of course, it only took a little while out of that school before my French was gone like that. But anyway, I remember very little from that year except making 2 friends, David Rose and Aiden Loudworth. These 2 were my best friends through all that year and still remained my friends until the end of lower elementary. Something else affecting my year was the departure of my teacher Samantha. I was very sad to see her go. My new teacher, Amy, that I would meet in the next year, was one of the best I ever had. Amy was absolutely wonderful and I loved her dearly. She luckily stayed my teacher for the rest of the elementary. Around the start of 2nd grade, I found myself working on a baking project with a girl 1 year younger than myself. Her name is Narissa. After that banana bread baking project, try to say that 5 times really fast, where we mushed bananas with our bare hands and laughed at the feeling, we became the best friends. A friend I'm proud to say is still with me today. That year, our assistant teacher, David, decided to stop teaching. I was very happy to hear this because David was a great assistant. One thing I really liked about him was how he would read us Greek mythology. Stories about gods and goddesses, strange magical creatures, and humans plopped in the midst of it all. I loved those stories, and he was the first one to get me into Greek mythology, the first to inspire me. I really hope that David is happy wherever he may be. Ever since the beginning of 3rd grade, I was excited about graduating from Lower Elementary. Every day was just a little bit closer. It's not that I disliked Lower Elementary, but I was curious about this new world known as Larch. My upper elementary experience started with Claire Volke, my mentor, who taught me about how the Larch Room worked. One thing I found in the Larch Room that delighted me was that this new world of the upper elementary had the freedom of 2 school camping trips instead of 1. Eagle Fern is the new camp for me, and although it only lasted 2 days, it was a great experience. There were really fun activities that varied from catching bugs in a stream to dissecting salmon with Greg. At night, Josh built a huge campfire that was perfect for our sing-alongs. The next year, Narissa arrived in the Larch Room, and we did lots of fun projects, including our huge Greek research, which we never really finished. Sorry, Greg, hope you can still graduate. I also did some other work, including word problems, which seemed endless at the time, but I finally did finish them. I learned that year that I'm capable of really great work when I stay focused and organized. 6th grade was full of so many things, and I could go on and on, but I'll try to be concise for you. There was the terrace, Costa Rica, and of course, state standards. Costa Rica was a big part of my 6th year. It was a wonderful mix of fun, inspiration, and moments that took my breath away. Moments like ziplining over a valley of vegetation, having a hummingbird on my finger, and staring a crocodile in the eye. It was a trip to be remembered. As for the terrace, I chose it for my service project because I had always been good with kids, and I had experienced elderly. The terrace is Childpeace's intergenerational program across the river in Portland. Elderly residents living in the terrace frequently have interactions with the children's house class that is on site. My service was to assist and inspire during some of those wonderful interactions. The first day was amazing. I remember everyone making holiday cards, and by the end, a little girl had come up to me and given me a card. There are no words inside, but a lopsided snowman rested on the pages. I was touched, and ever since, I knew the terrace was right for me. I loved all the activities that took part in the terrace, and from holiday potlucks to Valentine card making, going was always an exciting and joyful experience. Now that I'm here, I can reflect on everything that has happened at Montessori. I'd like to give thanks to all that have given to me. I'd like to thank my parents and grandmother for supporting me, helping me finish tasks, and loving me unconditionally. I'd like to thank my teachers, Greg, for teaching me amazing things inside the classroom and out, Marta for patiently editing every research I had and helping me whenever I had a problem, Josh for showing me all the amazing projects I could do, Amy for being so thoughtful, David for inspiring me for the first time, Samantha for being my first introduction to Montessori, and Ashley for being so kind to me. Thank you. Finally, I'd like to thank my friends for never giving up on me. Thank you. This last part of my speech was not actually added until a few days before this graduation. I realized I had been acting as if my story ended here. But instead, my story will twist and turn like the plot of a book. Surprises around every corner. Not even ending with Montessori, but going through it onto life. I think that this school has changed the course of that book. Everything it's taught me will help me in some way through my story. Things like discipline, honesty, kindness, and finally, the responsibilities that always come with freedoms.
Hi, my name is Elliot Rich. Over my years at Childpeace, I have learned many life lessons that will certainly help me later. I learned integrity,
dignity, grace and courtesy, and much more. I have countless memories from my years at Childpeace, and today I hope to share some of them with you. I began my Montessori experience in the spruce room with Michelle. I remember the sandpaper letters, collages, and the most epic games of rock, paper, scissors I would have with Isaac and Zachary. The winner got to tie the other's shoes. I had a lot of fun in Children's House, but I also learned basic math skills with sandpaper numbers in the small B grade. I learned how to read with Bob books and sandpaper letters, and I learned grace and courtesy from my teachers, Michelle and Susan. I remember the excitement of when Michelle was teaching a lesson to me. I would like to thank her for having me excited to learn. Lower Elementary was so much different than Children's House. We had jobs, journals, Spanish, going outs, and much more freedom. I remember the big math lessons I would get. I think that all the math work from Lower L made me much more excited to learn math in the future. I think the biggest work I completed in Lower L was a series of posters created by Ty, Isaac, and I. These posters were a follow-up for our area of rectangle lesson. We would make dinosaurs and boats all out of squares. At one point, we even made a pixelated version of the Parthenon. I still have the dinosaur poster to this day, and I'll remember it for a very long time. The most memorable thing from Lower L was the camps. I remember how cool Camp Hancock was because we saw all sorts of reptiles, insects, and birds. I think the camps are very special because we create many new friendships and memories that are sure to last. At the end of Lower L, I began my third year research. I did my research on the human body, and I covered everything from the skeletal system to the way our noses work. I remember this as the coolest work from Lower L, and I also helped Isaac with his research on LA, and he helped me a lot with mine. Upper L was so much different than Lower L. We had a freedoms and responsibilities chart that showed the freedoms Upper L came with, but also the responsibilities that came with that freedom. For instance, the freedom to be on committees as long as we do the duties given. Also, the freedom to use the computers as long as we use them responsibly and respect others. In Upper L, every year we go to Camp Eagle Fern. Eagle Fern is a camp that is designed to make new friends. Team building exercises and fun games, Eagle Fern brought us closer to people we hadn't been friends with before. I missed Eagle Fern in 4th grade, but in 5th and 6th I had a great time. It's an experience I'll never forget, and I hope in the future, others have as much fun as I did. I missed a lot of 4th grade due to an appendix problem, but I did do the play, the universe story researches, and lots of fraction work. The play in 4th grade was Peter Pan, and I had fun as the parrot with Sophia S. The main focus of math for 4th grade was fractions, and I learned everything from dividing with mixed numbers to converting fractions to percentages. 4th grade was great for friendships, and I think the friends I made will last a long time. 5th grade was great. I was getting to be better friends with other people in other classes. You know the saying, time flies when you're having fun? 5th grade was over before I knew it. I remember the winter celebration, word poems, and most of all, the play. In the play, I was Leonardo da Vinci, and I had a blast. I enjoyed playing with the Billy the Singing Fish on stage and painting my masterpiece, which was a stick figure on a whiteboard. This is the last year of Childpeace. This year came with many new challenges, such as the big leadership role and the completion of state standards. I had a lot of support from friends, and I did many collaborations with others this year to complete things I did not know. Greg gave me lessons this year, and I can't thank him enough for that. Also, thank you, Josh, for letting me help with some of your projects and helping me whenever I was stuck on a math problem. For a graduation trip, we went to Costa Rica. It was an amazing experience for me. I learned not to take what I have for granted. In Costa Rica, we did everything from holding butterflies to eating a marble fruit. Everybody tried something new. My favorite part of Costa Rica was the time we spent in the Carpio giving lessons to children in poverty. I gave the sandpaper numbers with Isaac, and I'm proud of the way it turned out. Also in the school were pieces of art made by the mothers and teachers of the children. All of the art was meaningful, and I purchased something to take home to my family. I would now like to talk about my service project. My service project was Graffiti Busters. I went on 4 outings with various people and busted some graffiti. I think I made a difference in our community, and I hope someone next year has as much fun as I did this year. I couldn't have succeeded without my friends, family, and teachers for always being there for me and helping me along the way. Thank you.
My name is Odin graduating sixth year in the Larch room here at Childpeace Montessori School. I have been going here for 6 years of my life and attending Montessori for 9. I know that I am very happy and lucky to be able to attend this teaching style for many different reasons. The wonderful teachers, materials, experiences, and how it makes me excited to learn, a quality that I will always use to discover new things. But most importantly, what it has taught me, and the main part of Montessori education in my eyes, is simply how to be a better person through learning and practicing the virtues. The first virtues I will talk about are grace and courtesy. I was able to learn them early on. There was a blue circle we walked on in my children's house classroom, used it together at Montessori Alameda. But whenever you sat in a circle during the gathering, you sat courteously and silently while the person speaking talked. When I came to first grade in Laurel here, we did it similarly, but with a rug instead of a taped circle. When I went to Upper L, it became something that everyone did without thought in the morning before school started. This part of Montessori was to help me grow accustomed to being graceful and courteous so that I was not only doing it in school, but in the outside world as well. There are many other ways to practice it as well. One of the most impactful teachers in my lessons about grace and courtesy was my teacher in kindergarten named Joy, who was extremely patient and helpful. Other virtues of perseverance and follow-through were a big challenge for me at first. For the winter celebration in 3rd grade, my class did researches on life and tide pools. I had great interest in those things, and I did a research on the Pacific octopus. After I did the research, I started on a big cardboard octopus with Millie. It was really cool and the second biggest in the class. Second because someone made a life-size gray whale, which had to be hung up across 2 walls. But the octopus still took perseverance and hard work, and I realized that with great work comes great satisfaction. The harder project came this year and made me realize what perseverance and follow-through really meant, which was my 6th year service project. After looking for something I really wanted to do that I was passionate about, I finally decided to work on a project called Adopt a Plot, where I cleared an area of Tryon Creek State Park from invasive plants, namely English ivy. My most successful trip was the second group that I brought with me, as they ended up clearing out my entire plot and moving to the denser areas around it to pull gargantuan clumps of ivy out of the ground within humanly amounts of strength. Some of the most helpful people that helped me persevere are my teacher Greg, who taught me to not just give up, and my mom, who, when needed, gives me a push to make me try harder. Unlike some schools where you sat in a desk and don't talk unless you're called on, I have worked on whatever I wanted, wherever I wanted, and with whomever I wanted to, thanks to Montessori education. It makes a big difference, as that way you are able to practice respect, teamwork, grace, courtesy, focus, and self-discipline. In Lower L, there were going outs where you could plan a trip to wherever you wanted to go, in Oregon that is. Of course, there was an adult with you to keep an eye on you and drive you, but otherwise you had control of where you were going, how you would get there, and what you were going to do there. The most freedom has been bestowed on me here in Upper L, as there are now computers, committees, service projects, and all the freedoms that have extended privileges. With those freedoms came responsibility as well. We have a code of conduct for class, but to me so much of it is just common sense now. These virtues are the ones that I thought were best taught by Childpeace Montessori. There are others too. The last virtue I bring up is gratitude. It is the one that makes me realize that without this education, I would be someone completely different. It takes me back to the time we visited the Montessori school in the Carpio in Costa Rica and seeing the children in the environment there. I stopped to imagine for a moment that I was one of those kids, so happy to be there, and also noticing how different it was for them. I know at that point that I was lucky to have Montessori, but afterwards, I was somewhat overwhelmed by the fact. Thank you to my family for making all of this possible. Thank you to my teachers Joy, Kellen, Brazil, Joe, and Tammy for starting my journey through Montessori education, Sorrel, Rob, and Millie for being so kind and helpful to me, Greg, Josh, and Marta for making my Upper L experience the most meaningful, and Dr. Maria Montessori for making me the person I am now. Thank you.
Thank you all. Those were amazing. Really well done. I know that they were a lot of work. We have a few gifts to give you. We would like to take a moment to acknowledge these students individually, and then as a group, there'll be a moment for a photograph. As I say your name, you can come come across, and we have a few a binder for you to take with you and a gift as well as a flower. I think Marta's going to help us. We'll get everybody together. So, first up, Bowden Paxton. Elliot Risch. Grace Stiles. Sophia Marie Siriello. Mara Alfrey. Sophia Schwartz. Holden Kilbane. Katya Masiolik. Maya Mill. And Isaac Homer. So if you guys can all line up at the front of the stage, I'm sure your parents would like to have a moment. And we'll take a moment to acknowledge you as folks as a group, so congratulations.